and your entire screen, then this, and then share. Okay, so just any one of you please confirm that is my screen visible.
Yes, it's
No.
visible, Shambhavi.
Okay, thank you,
Visible.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay guys, so now let me introduce you to the environment which we would be using for our Python codes which we would be writing, and for the Python project which we would be making, we would be using another you can say environment. But let's not go into that thing because that's a later on thing, right? Because for today we will be dealing with only Python codes. Fine. So that the environment which we would be using is a Google Colab. Now like the name is only Google Colab, so basically it is associated with Google. So basically in that what you need to do is that you must be having access to your email, so it will be logged in from your email IDs only, whatever respective email IDs you have, that would be logged in. And this is you can say online environment. Basically you would be needing internet connection for working on this. Yes, Sutar, you can absolutely use PyCharm. That's the very best thing if you have that, right? So that is like basically Google Colab is an online environment in which you work. Now just quickly let me tell you that how you will just open this Google Colab and basically what are the functions of this, right? Okay, Sanket, you can even use Jupyter. Fine, that Jupyter is also fine. Okay, VS Code, yes, VS Code is absolutely fine. You can do that thing also. Okay, so this is my new tab. Now if I just want to go on for Google Colab, what I would do, I would write here Google, and okay, just let me this one Google Colab. Fine. Now what I would do, I would just go and just let me have a little bit of zoom in the side, and fine. See, so this is my first website, that is https collab.research.google.com. So basically this is the Google Colab. Now I would click here in the first link as well, right? Now just let me cancel this thing, and fine. So basically this is the you can say these are the things which are in your collaborative, and here basically it is written also that what is collaborative. So for that, like afterwards, if you want, you can just go and read all the things which are written here. So for now, what I would let you know that how to make a file and how to start writing. Fine. I will click on this file. Fine. After clicking on this file, what I would do, I would go for new notebook. As soon as I will click this notebook, I will be redirected to a new tab. Fine. So basically in this new tab, my Google Collaboratory notebook will be loading. And like all these things basically depend upon your internet connection, that what type of internet connection, what type of bandwidth you are having. Fine. So right, this is the format and this is the form how your Google Colab notebooks look like. Fine. Now, next thing, if you just want to rename it, what you will do, you will just click here, fine, like before this .ipynb. Now, this .ipynb is the file extension for your Google Colab notebooks, fine. So, like you will just click on here and do the backspace, fine. And here you can just write any of the name, and let's say I write lecture 1, fine. And let's say I write lecture 1. So this is one of my you can say I have just renamed my file. Now what else I have, so for using my Google Collaboratory, what I need to do is that I need to just click here on connect, fine. As soon as I will do that, my Google Collaboratory will be connected with my internet, and after that you can run all of your programs in this Google Colab notebook. Okay, next thing what I have here is that this is the place where you write your Python code, and this rectangular box which you are just seeing here, this is known as a cell. So basically in this collaboratory notebook, whenever we write code, so we just say that, okay, you are writing a code in this cell, fine. So the term which we used for this Google Collaboratory, that is called as cell. So these are the little, and you can say these are the small functions about this Google Collaboratory notebook. Other than that, there are many more, but these are the important ones which you should keep in mind for now. Okay, so this was about the Google Colab. This is the environment which we will be using. Fine. So just quickly let me know that is this whole thing clear to you about the environment and how to access and how to use this environment. Okay, fine. Okay, Simran. Okay, Prem Naran. Okay, Rohit, Aditi, Devotam, and ma'am, it is same as Jupyter Notebook. Yes, Sanket, it is same as Jupyter Notebook only. Right, you're absolutely right. would like to know if this bootcamp is beneficial for me or not, as I'm not from a science or technical background. Okay, Pariti, that's not an issue. This is the bootcamp which would be very beneficial for you, because basically here we would be starting from the very of the basics. Okay, very basics, even from very scratch. I would be just telling you each and everything. Fine. So you can just be there. Fine. Okay, online GDP, yes, Karti, you can use online GDP. That's no issues. Fine. You can use that thing also. Fine. That's fine, totally fine. Okay, so this was about the usage and how you will use your environment. Now let's move towards the very first topic for this Python bootcamp, and a topic which we would be taking today is types of operators. Fine. So all of you whosoever are here, like most of you are familiar with any. Okay, Vipul, code light. Okay, fine. See, the thing is that you can use any of the IDE or any online compiler for this code which we are going to write. But for the project which we would be making, for that you will be needing a particular IDE. And for that particular IDE, I would be just telling you about in the, you can say in after first class. Okay, in the further classes, I would be just telling you about. Now, what's the next thing I was just telling you about? Like today's topic, the first topic which we would be discussing is types of operators. Fine. So most of you are just familiar with any of the programming languages. So you must all know about that. What are types of operators, and basically how many types of operators we have, right? It can be your C, it can be your C++, it can be your Python. In any of the languages, you can just tell me. So quickly write in the chat box that what are the types of operators, and basically what types of operators you know. Just name them. Okay, I have one answer with me right now, and just let me open that. Okay, and or NAND XOR. Okay, Sitar. Darren, I have logical, okay, arithmetic, relational, boolean, logical, conditional, logical, relational, logical, Ishika, relational. Okay, fine. More answers. I want some more answers. Okay, Siddhi arithmetic, Paridhi Boolean, Shalini
Yeah,
arithmetic,
ternary
sign
operator.
logic. Okay, ternary operator. Okay, fine. Aditi conditional, Ria arithmetic, relational, logical, comparison, relational, logical, arithmetic, Boolean, condition, Boolean. Absolutely wonderful, guys. Wonderful. So here many of you just know about the types of arithmetic, types of operators which we have, right? And you are absolutely right. Every one of you, absolutely right. Now, for today, we would be seeing the arithmetic, operators, types of operators, and we'll be dealing with different types of operators. So for that, just let me open the presentation and then let's move towards the types of operators. So here we go. Fine. So just let that image open. Okay. So let it open. Okay, fine. So here we are just going to start our first topic for today, that is types of operators. Now, so basically in Python, we have these 7 types of operators, and they are named as arithmetic, assignment, comparison, logical, bitwise, identity, and membership. So these are the 7 types of operators which we have in our Python programming. Fine. So for today, we would be seeing only 3, that are arithmetic, assignment, and comparison, and the rest, that are the 4 which are 4 left, we would be seeing them in the further classes, because before knowing them, you should know like some more topics. Then we would discuss the rest 4 one. Fine. So moving towards the arithmetic operators. Okay, fine. Just in the chat box, in the comment box, quickly tell me about the arithmetic operators. That what arithmetic operators you know. Quickly tell me in the chat box. Plus, minus, multiplication, division. Okay, Prem Narayan. Okay, addition, subtraction. Okay, Varshini. Okay, add, subtraction, division, multiplication. 5 plus, minus, multiply, divide. Okay, multiplication, division. Okay, I have modulus used between 2 operands to perform operations. Kindly show all the notes. Okay, sure, I will, Paridhi, I will do. Modulus, add, subtraction, multiplication, division. Okay, absolutely right, guys. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, fine. So yeah, you all know about the arithmetic operators, and basically these operators are the ones which like we are just studying from our very younger classes. Even in our, like you can say, nursery or PG classes, we were just told about these operators. So here in this, we are just naming that operators as arithmetic operator, and they are named as addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, question, and exponent. Fine. So these are the operators which constitute under arithmetic operator. Now let's go to our Google Colab and basically write our first program using the arithmetic operators. Fine. So this is my Google Colab notebook in which I would be writing the programs. Fine. So let's say I had taken a variable. The variable is a. Now what I am going to do is that I am going to assign a value to my variable a. Now what I would just suggest you all this, that just listen what I am saying very carefully, because this is the thing which would be going till the end of this boot camp. So here if you just understand the things which I am just telling you in the very starting, the first and second day, then you will not be having any problem in the further classes. Okay, so just listen whatever I am saying very carefully. Let's say I have taken a variable that is a. Fine. Now what I am going to do is that I am going to assign a value to this variable a. Next what I am going to do, I am going to take another variable that is b. What else I am going to do, I am going to assign a value that is 20 to this variable b. Now if I want to add two things, what I would do, I would take a new variable and I would write a plus b, right? So what I have done in this third line basically, so in this third line I have taken a new variable that is c. In this variable, I have stored values a plus b. So basically what I have done and I have stored the addition of a and b in this c variable. Now, if I want to print something in my Python programming, so what I use a statement that is called as print. Fine. Basically, this print is used to, like if you want to print something in Python programming, so we use print. In C and C++, you was using printf or cout, something like that. So the case is same in the Python also. We use print to print the output or print something like some sentence or something like that. Fine. This is it, and inside this what I would do, I would write C. Now what it will happen, here I would be getting the output as 30. So basically that means I would be getting the addition of A and B, right? So this is how we basically make and perform a very like you can say very easy program in Python programming. Fine. So this is about, now this plus is my arithmetic operator. Fine. And this A and B, these both are acting as operands. So basically what are operands? Operands are those, you can say those variables or those terms in which we perform some operator. Fine. So here I am performing this plus operator. I am using this plus operator, that is addition between two variables, that is A and B, and these two variables A and B, they are known as operands. Fine. So just quickly let me know that am I clear with this arithmetic operator and how to write a simple and basic program in Python. Okay. Okay, Simran. Okay. Okay, Javeria. Okay, Devottam. Okay, Aditi. Okay, Shiv Shankar. Okay, Riya, Pushpanjali. Okay. Sutar, Siddhi, Gojia, Sanket, Rohit, Premnaran, Suveta, Keethana. Okay, fine. Why don't you join? Or okay, okay. Let's not talk for that now. We'll talk about all these things later on. For today, let's concentrate on the topics which we are just discussing, right? So this is about the Python. So writing the very basic program in Python. Now this was about the arithmetic operator. Next, what we are moving with? Next, we are moving with assignment operators, right? So just quickly let me know that what do you all know about the assignment operators? Quickly let me
It
know
is
what
used
you...
to assign a value to a variable.
Okay, absolutely right. Okay, Darren, absolutely right. And everyone just quickly respond that what you all know about the sign. Okay, it assigns a value. Okay, fine, Aditi, absolutely right. It assigns a value. What else? Okay, yeah, equal to sign. Absolutely right. Absolutely right, Suvita. This equal to sign is the assignment operator. Assign a value in a variable. Absolutely right, Rohit. Okay, so, okay, the assignment operators are used to assign the value to the right expression to the left operand. Okay, fine, Sanket. Equal to sign. Okay, fine, Siddhi. Yes, guys, assigns value into a verb. Absolutely correct, guys. Very well done. You are just giving the very correct answers. So basically, what are assignment operators? Assignment operators are the operators which are used to assign value to some variable. Okay, fine. So this is the assignment operator. Now, what type of assignment operators we have? So they are just named as plus equal to, minus equal to, multiply equal to, divide equal to, percent equal to, and exponent equal to, right? So these are the assignment operators basically which we have. Now here comes one more thing, like we have a long form and a short form for writing the assignment operators. Now let's go on to Google Colab and discuss this thing using a simple example. Okay, like shorthand operators. Fine, absolutely right. Fine. So let's quickly go and just discuss about the assignment operator. Let's say here what I am doing, let's say I take a variable, fine. That variable is a and I have assigned it a value as 11, fine. Now what else I am going to do? I am going to write a is equal to a plus 1. So here what I have used my assignment operator, that is plus equal to. So I have written a is equal to a plus 1, and here in the output I would write print and a. Now quickly in the chat box just let me know that what will be the output for this program which I have written. Quickly let me know in the chat box. Okay, Simran, 12. Absolutely right. Rohit, Siddhi, followed by Saksham, Sanket, Pranjal, Riya, Prajakta, Anuj, Premnaran, Shweta, Mayank, Darren, Aditi, Deepika, Vipul, Shiv, Shankar. Absolutely right, guys. Absolutely right, guys. Absolutely right. So here I would be getting the output as 12. So this is how we use the assignment operators. Now I was just telling you about the long form and short form, right? So this statement which I have written in the second line, that is a is equal to a plus 1. This is the use of long form. Now if I just want to convert this into a short form, what I would do, I would write a is equal, a, then I would give a space. I would write plus equal to 1. Now what does this mean? A plus is equal to 1. So this is statement which I have written here. This absolutely means this thing which I have written earlier. So that is, this is the short form, that A plus is equal to 1. This is the short form for writing this statement, that is A equal to A plus 1. So if you see somewhere written something like this, then you can quickly recognize and say, okay, this is the assignment operator, and in this assignment operator you have used the short form for writing the assignment operator. Fine. So this is the way you can say short form for writing this a is equal to a plus 1. Now here one thing which you need to keep in mind is that you need not to give any spaces between this plus and between this equal to sign. If you are going to give space between both of these, then you will get an error. Fine. So you need not to give any space between this plus and this equal to sign. Okay, let me show that thing also. If I just give space between this plus and equal to, here I would just result an error. Fine. So what I got syntax error. Fine. Invalid syntax. So because it is like unfollowing the syntax, because syntax is that you need to quickly join this a and equal to sign, sorry, this plus and equal to sign together. Fine. So just quickly let me know that am I clear with this assignment operators to every one of you? Okay, Shiv Shankar, this double star means the exponent. Let's say you want to write something power. Okay. Yeah, Paridhi, you are just telling the. Let's say Shiv Shankar, you want to write 2 ki power 3, 2 to the power 3, right? So there you use this exponent operator. So 2 double star and 3. So that will mean 2 to the power 3. Okay. So this is the use of exponent. Okay, fine. Now let's, ma'am, what is this double hash? Okay, fine. Let me go back side only. See, this double hash is question. Now, see, when we do division, so in division we have two things. We have quotient and we have remainder, right? So what does this double sign do? It gives us the quotient of that division which you are going to perform. Fine. This is about the arithmetic. Now, our third topic, third operator is comparison operator. Now, just quickly let me know that what are comparison operators, and basically what do you understand by comparison? No, Pranjal. No, Pranjal. This is basically called as division only, right? Okay, I have example less than, greater than, less than, equal to, greater than, equal to compare left and right values. Okay, Pranjal, to compare left and right values, true, false. Okay, equal, equal. What else? What else you all know about this comparison operator? What else? What else? Quickly let me know. What do you understand by the term comparison? What do you understand by the term comparison? It is simple English word, right? So what you just understand by this word, that is comparison. Okay, okay, Priya, true and floor division. Okay, Priya, I just said that we will discuss these things in the further class, because for now today I'm just taking considering everyone that like some of you are here which are just totally new to the programming background, right? So they do not have any programming background. So that is why just quickly let's give them a little bit of idea about this programming, that what is basically how we write the program, then we will move on to true and floor division. Okay, okay, comparing to, it compares equal to value or not equal not to. If both values are equal or not, comparison operators are used for comparing the use value of the two operands and returns boolean true or false accordingly. Comparison to numbers, right? Absolutely right, guys, very well done. So basically comparison operators are those operators which are used to compare between two numbers. Now they are named as equal to, not equal to, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, and less than or equal to. Now let's do one thing quickly. Go to our Google Colab, and now here let's write a program for the comparison operator. Now while explaining about this comparison operator, I will tell you about the if else conditions also, right? That how we write these if else conditions in Python. So just pay a little bit more attention. Okay. Now, let's say I just take another variable here, that is p. Fine. Let's say I take a new variable p, and let's say I assign it a value as 70. Fine. Let's say I take another variable, that is q, and I assign the value as 100. Fine. Now, what else I need to do? If I need to use my comparison operator, I would use my conditions. Fine. So I would write if p is greater than q. Now, here my if else condition comes into role, that if my this condition is true, then print me this output, otherwise print me this output. So basically this is the use of if and else conditions, that we just okay, you will just get the thing using an example only. Fine, I will just explain this using an example. So for now I have written if p is greater than q, I would put the colon. Now if, here what I have written if, then condition, and then colon. So basically this is the syntax for using your if condition in Python programming. Fine. As soon as I will do enter, now just keep this thing in mind, that here you will get some spaces. Fine. So you need not to disturb these spaces. Fine. You need not to disturb them. Fine. I would write here print. Now, next thing that comes here is that previously from the two examples, what I was doing, I was just writing a variable name here, right? Because I was just storing my addition, or you can say like, yeah, we had one addition, right? So in the previous examples, what I was doing, I was just storing this addition in one of the variables, and I was just printing that. But if in Python programming you want to print any string or any output, like you want to display some line, so basically what we write print, and inside these brackets we put these semicolons also, right? And inside this semicolons, whatever you want to be printed in your output, we write that. So let's say in this I would like that p is greater than q, right? Because like here what we are just taking, that which number is greater. Okay, so here I have used a condition if p greater than q. So basically what I mean from here is that the value which is given in p, if that value is greater than q, so what you need to do is that you need to print p is greater than q. And if this condition is not false, then I would write this else here, right? Then I would write else, and here I would say else print, and inside this I would write q is greater than p. Fine. So here what I have done, I have used two things. Here I have used this if else conditions also, and even I have used this comparison operator also. So this was about a simple program about using the if else condition and using about the comparison operator. Now quickly just let me know in the chat box that what will be the output for this program which I have just written right now. Okay, Siddhi, you're absolutely right. Q is greater than P. Yes, Prajakta, Q is greater than P. Okay, Shweta, followed by Harpreet, J. Akshita, Pranjal, else part, absolutely right. Else part, Q is greater than P. Yes, guys, you all are absolutely right. The output which I would be getting here is Q is greater than P. And now as soon as I will run this program, I will get Q is greater than P because here, yes, someone wants to say something. Can we use colon? Can we use colon in Python? Yes, Vaishani, you can use colon in Python. Okay, you can do that. Okay, so basically here what is the thing is that this if condition is not satisfied because here this condition is false because the value which I have stored in my P is not greater than Q. So basically this P is greater than Q will not be printed. So my control will go into my else condition, right? So in my else condition, Q is greater than P. Fine. So here in the output I got Q is greater than P. Okay, so this can anyone okay, fine. Okay, so basically what is the case here is that we have just now discussed about the types of operators. So we have discussed about three types. Now, can any one of you just unmute yourself and give me a quick summary that what we have just discussed about types of operators? Can any one of you just discuss like unmute yourself and tell me that thing? Guys, I just told you in the very starting of this course that you need to just interact with me, right? And I just told you the reason for that also. Fine. So why not? Why you are not like not interacting with me? Why you all are just not unmuting yourself? Your voice is coming a little low. Yeah, say.
We have learned about the types of operators.
Okay.
Operators are used to perform operation between the operands.
Okay.
Operators are able to store the value.
Okay.
Example, E is equal to A plus B. So
Okay.
in this
Okay, hold on.
section,
Actually, hold on. Actually, I guess your internet connection is very low, so basically your voice is breaking a lot. Like we cannot hear that whatever you are saying. No issues with that. No issues. That's very nice that you come upon. Can I just know your name?
Prem.
Okay, Prem.
Prem
Very
Nand.
nice that you just come upon. Very nice for that. Okay. So this was like we have just now discussed about the types of operators. So we have just discussed about the arithmetic, assignment and comparison, these three operators. Now we are just going to see about the keywords and identifiers, that what are keywords and what are identifiers. Fine. Okay. So here we have the slide for keywords and identifiers. Now, can any one of you just let me know that what do you understand by the term keywords? What are these keywords?
Can I tell?
Yeah, sure.
These are the words which are understandable only by the compiler of a programming language.
Okay, fine. Very nice, Prem. And even I have some answers in the chat box as well. So reserved words, keywords, reserved words for special purpose. Okay, Shiv Shankar, no issues. We will just tell you. Fixed words in Python in programming language. Okay, Shiv Shankar, I will do that. I would explain that. Okay, I would just explain that. Predefined words, reserved words. Okay, fine. So basically what are keywords? Keywords are the reserved words. Reserved words in the sense keywords are the predefined words that already exist. Fine. So these are the words that are already there. Now what about moving towards the Python programming language? We have total 33 keywords in Python. Okay, so in here we have 33 keywords, and here's one condition, that the keywords which are true, false and none. So basically these are the only three keywords which are having their first letter as capital. Fine. Other than that, all other keywords are having their first capital and even whole name as in small letters. So let me just write that: true, false and none. So basically this in true, false and none, this T is capital, this F is capital and this none is capital. So in Python what we have, so basically these three are the keywords which are having their first letters as capital, and other than that there are no keywords which are having their first letters as capital. Fine. So these are the full list of all the 33 keywords which we have in Python programming. Now what I would suggest you is that if you want, you can just have a overview about all of these keywords, because after discussing about this identifiers, I would be having the questions for you all, right? So you need to just respond to that questions to me. So what I would suggest that quickly have a look over all of these 33 keywords. Yeah, I know that you cannot learn all these 33 keywords, but you can even have a little bit look over these. Fine. So these are the keywords which are in Python. Fine. Now let's move towards our next topic, that is identifiers. Okay, so what are identifiers? So basically identifiers are name given to entities like class, function, variables, helps to differentiate one entity from other. Now what I just mean from these terms. Now let's have an example. Let's say I have written a is equal to 10. Fine. So from the very starting of this, when I just told you about the examples of arithmetic operator, from the very first of the example, what I am saying? I am saying, let's say a is a variable in which I have stored a value, I have assigned it a value, and that is 10, right? From the very starting of this, I am just telling you that let's say a is a variable in which I have stored a value that is 10. Fine. So what does this variable means? This variable is the another name for identifiers. Fine. So variable is the another name for identifiers. Identifiers are those variables basically in which we store our values. So what definition I have written here is that name given to entities like class, function, variables helps to differentiate one entity from another. Let's say I have written a is equal to 10 and b is equal to 20, right? So these a and b are different from each other, right? So these both are a and b. These both are known as identifiers. These both are known as variables, right? So just quickly let me know that am I clear with the definition that what are identifiers? Okay, clear, fine. Due to some network, I'm not listening to your sound. Okay, Shalini, no issues with that. Okay, fine. So now, when we just talk about the Python programming languages, so here we have 5 rules for writing the identifiers, right? So just quickly, let's say these rules. And after this, I would be asking you the questions regarding these rules only, fine? So the first rule is that they cannot start with a digit. Now, what does this mean that they cannot start with a digit? So basically the variables or identifiers which we will be declaring, they cannot start with a digit. That means let's say I have written 9a and I have just assigned it a value as 10. So when I am going to write this 9a, this would show you an error. Why? Because here I have started my identifier, you can say I have written my variable with a digit. So basically it is starting with a digit, so it is not allowed. So in Python you cannot write your identifiers, you cannot start your identifiers with a digit. Okay, so in the very starting of the identifier or variable, a digit should not be there. If it is, then it will be an invalid identifier. This is the first point. Moving towards the second, can be of any length, right? So this is you can say the identifiers of variables which you will be like writing, they can be of any length. Let's say you can even have one length, right? So basically this A is one, right? A is a one character. So here we can say that if you just write A is equal to 10, right? So this A is having a length of 1. And let's say you make a variable in which you write my underscore str underscore name, and then you make this variable. So this is a variable of a little bit more length. Fine. So it is like identifiers are not restricted to any length. You can make an identifier from a very one length also, and you can just take up to whatever length you want. Fine. So this is like length for identifiers are not restricted. They can be of any length. Moving towards the third, this is the very most important point while writing the identifiers, that keywords cannot be used, right? So this is the main reason that I was saying that you must try have a quick revision of all the keywords which I have just listed before. These were the 33 keywords. So you cannot use keywords while writing your identifier. Let's say you make a variable that is if, and you assign a value as 10. So this will result you an error. Why? Because if is a keyword. So the rule is that keywords cannot be used. Fourth, special symbols not allowed. Right. So just quickly let me know that what are the special symbols. Okay, Prem Narayan, I will do that. Quickly tell me about the special symbols. Just list the special symbols, whatever you want. You know. Okay, dollar at the rate, and okay, not dollar percent and brackets question mark. Okay, dollar exclamation mark, dollar hash percent hash brackets question sorry, it's dollar. Okay, fine. So you all know about okay semicolons, comma, at the rate. Fine. So you all know about the special symbols, right? So you all just know that what are the special symbols. So there is a rule for writing identifiers that special symbols are not allowed. So that means that you cannot use special symbols that are at the rate, dollar, hash, percent, and then it is like ampersand, multiplication, plus, minus, equal to. You cannot use any of these while writing an identifier. But here is an exception. The exception is that there is a special symbol that is valid, and that special symbol is underscore. Fine. So basically you can apply and you can use this underscore while writing your identifiers and variables, but other than this underscore you cannot use any other special symbol. Let's say you make an identifier and you write my underscore name, right? You write my underscore name. So basically this will be a valid identifier. Now the last rule for identifiers are can be combination. Fine. So this means that they can be a combination. Combination in the sense that you can just write like my underscore and then 9 and then 9a. Let's say you made a variable like this, my underscore 9a. So this will be a valid identifier because what I just said that identifiers can be combination. And if you have just used this 9 in the very starting of the declaration of the identifier, then it cannot be a valid one. But what you have done, you have used this 9 after this underscore. Okay, so this is a valid identifier. So these were the all 5 points about the identifiers, and these are the rules that how we basically name identifiers in Python programming. So someone was just asking about the keywords. So keywords, okay, I was just telling about the true, false, and none. Fine. So he was just asking about true, false, and none. Okay.
Shambhavi,
Yes.
there's a query by Shiv Shankar. Please look on that.
Okay, fine, sure. I'm leaving. I'm not getting these points. No one explaining. Okay, Shiv Shankar, what's your doubt? Can I just know that doubt? Shiv Shankar, if you just can I just know your doubt? That whatever is your doubt.
I think he left. No worries, you can move on.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, someone was asking about that true, false, and none. Fine. So I was just telling about that true, false, and none. These three are the keywords which are having their first letter as capital. So basically, what does this mean? That true, false, and none. These are the three keywords, only three keywords which have their first letter as capital, and other than that, all of the rest keywords are having small letters in that. Fine. So this was the point about this true, false, and none, which someone asked. I just don't remember the name, but someone asked me this point. Okay. So now just quickly let me know that being bootcamp, it's like revision. You would have at least known before. Yeah, Shweta, you can just say that it is a revision, or yeah. Actually, this thing I just told that we need to consider each and every student, right? Because here are some who know Python and here are some who do not know Python, right? So we need to keep all of them in mind. So that is why I'm just starting from the very of the basics. But you wrote none first letter end. Okay, that's a typo. Fine, that's a typo. Okay, just let me show this thing even in the next thing. Okay, see here, Prem Naran. So for this, false, none, and true. This F, and T. These three are capital. Fine, the first letters are capital, and other than this, all of them are having the first letters as small. So that was a typo. I'm sorry for that. Fine. Okay, let me go to that. Can we say that identifiers are token? Okay, Prajakta, identifiers are tokens. Yeah, at some point you can say that. Fine, at some point you can say that these are tokens. Okay, fine. Now what I just told you that, yes, someone want to say something? Okay, so what I told you is that into the data we should not use that as a variable, right? Yes, Varshini, you are right. Fine. So now we'll be just discussing some questions, and I will be just giving you some questions, and you need to let me know the correct answer for that questions in the chat box. So, right. So the things would be that first you need to tell that it is a valid or invalid identifier, and after that you need to tell that if it is a valid and identifier, then why, and if it is not a valid identifier, then why. So just hold on for a minute. Just make it as small. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, fine. So quickly just see the first question and just let me just give me the answer that is for a valid identifier or an invalid identifier. Invalid. Okay. Javeria. Okay. Sanket, false. Invalid. One is invalid. Okay, quickly, let me know the reasons. Why this is an invalid? Why this is an invalid? It's a keyword. Absolutely right. Ishika, you are absolutely right. Then followed by Prajakta, Pranjal, and then Shweta, Rohit, Akshita, Javeria, Riya, Mayank, Siddhi. Absolutely right, guys. You are doing a very well job. So basically this first one is an invalid identifier because this for is a keyword and we are having a rule that we cannot use keywords while writing our identifiers. Now quickly moving towards the second question. Quickly give me the answers for the second one in the chat box. Invalid starts with a digit. Okay, invalid. Okay, someone said valid also. Okay, invalid. 2 is invalid. It started with digit. Invalid must not start with number. Start with number because start with a digit. Absolutely right. Invalid cannot start with digit. Invalid. Absolutely right, guys. Absolutely right. So someone, I guess like someone got a little bit confused. So just let me quickly clear that thing. That this 95W, this is an invalid identifier because it is starting with a digit and we are having a rule that identifiers cannot start with a digit. So fine. So someone like the one who were having a little bit confusion, I hope that must be clear, right? Now moving towards the third question. Quickly let me know that third question is valid or invalid. Okay, valid. Lowercase and uppercase are allowed. Valid. Okay, quickly write the. Okay, fine. Very good. Okay, fine. Someone is saying fourth one invalid. Okay, let's talk about the third one for now. Then we will move towards the fourth. Underscore allowed. not starting underscore. Fine. So guys, I haven't received the reason for this third question, that why this third question is a valid identifier. I have received only one reason from Rohit. So quickly give me the reasons that why this third one is an valid identifier. Okay, Prem Navaran combination fine. Underscore is allowed. Okay, Karthi. What else? Okay, underscore is allowed. Lowercase and also has underscore fine. Underscore allowed. Not a keyword. Fine, absolutely right. Started with alphabet is allowed. Started with alpha. Okay, fine. Underscore is allowed. Okay, Devota. Not starting with digit. Okay, Ananya. Can be combination. Okay, Shweta. Fine, absolutely right, guys. So basically, this is a valid one because you the first rule is that it is satisfying all the rules because it is neither starting with a digit, it even has an underscore, we can be a combination, can be of any length, and it is not a keyword. Now, quickly moving towards the quickly moving towards the fourth one, underscore AB. Quickly, let me know that it is valid or invalid. Valid, absolutely right. Valid, invalid cannot start with a special symbol. Okay, Ria. Valid. What else? Valid. Okay. Quickly give me reasons that why it is a valid one. Okay, Aditi, invalid. Okay, Simran, underscore is allowed. Okay. Some more reasons. Okay, Prajakta, invalid. Okay. Okay, so the ones who are saying valid and the ones who are saying invalid, quickly provide your reasons that why you think that it is a valid or why you think that it is an invalid. Underscore can be given in the beginning. Okay, Karthi. Okay, fine. What else reasons? Quickly give me the reasons. I want reasons that why you are saying that it is valid or invalid. Valid underscore is not a special symbol, so it can be used. Okay, Ananya. For example, like constructor. Okay, ma'am, please. Okay. Okay, Sanket. Ma'am, please you tell the reason. I am also not get that. Okay, Sanket, which question you are asking? Third or fourth? Fourth. Okay, fine. I will do that. See, the fourth question is a valid identifier. See, we can use this underscores in the starting. The only exception is that we cannot use digits in the starting, but underscore is a special symbol that is allowed. So we can use this underscore in the starting of our identifier. We can use in the starting, we can use in the middle, and even we can use it at the last also, right? So this is a valid identifier. Fine. So this is a valid identifier. Now, is this clear to you? Who was asking? Is this clear to you, Sanket? Okay. And the ones who were a little bit confused about the valid and invalid. Now, is this clear to everyone? Starting with underscore makes the variable a private variable in a class. Is it right? Okay, Pranjal, it is right up to some extent, but it will make private in that case only when you are using your class. So for right now, we are not using classes here, right? So it will not make your variable as private variable. For now, it will not make, but when you will just use the classes concept, there it will make. Okay, fine. Now quickly, just give me the answer for the last question, that is 5. Just quickly let me know it is valid or invalid. And if valid, then why? If invalid, then why? Quickly. Okay, invalid start with a digit. Invalid starting with a digit. Invalid started with number. Invalid starts with a digit, starting with digit. Invalid start with digit. Invalid because starting with a digit. Absolutely right. Invalid. Okay, section when starting with digit. Karthi invalid. Okay, so I just hope that I pronunciate the name right. That is Chitisha. Invalid starts with 9 at digit. Fine. Aditi cannot start with digit. Absolutely right, guys. Absolutely right. So basically this fifth one is an invalid identifier because it is starting with a digit. No matters it is having underscore. This is a valid symbol, no matters, but it is starting with a number that is 9. So basically this is an invalid identifier. So I hope you just got the whole idea about the valid and invalid identifiers, that what are valid and what are invalid. So quickly just let me know, do you have any doubts regarding the valid and invalid? Okay, no. Okay, no. Fine. No doubts? No, ma'am. No doubts, no. Okay. Okay, all that's clear. Okay, fine, Prajakta. Okay, so
Can
today
we
what
use
we have,
plus and
yes,
minus as identifiers?
yes, Aditi, please repeat your question.
Can we use a plus and minus as identifiers like
No, 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 no,
articles?
Aditi, you cannot use plus and minus as identifiers. You cannot use, you only can use underscores. Other than that, you cannot use any symbol, any operator, any special symbol, nothing. Fine?
Thank you.
Okay, most welcome. Okay, so just quickly let me know that today we have discussed about the types of operators, keywords, and identifiers. So are these three topics clear to everyone? Is anyone having a very single doubt also about these topics? You can just ask me. And if you do not have, quickly let me write that it's absolutely clear. Okay, fine. Yes, all clear. Okay, Devottam. Okay, Mayank, Siddhi, Riha, Prajakta, Aditi, Pranjal, Rohit, Keethna, Siddhi, Bharat, Sakshim, Javeria, Anuj. Okay, okay. Okay, Sanket. Okay, Karthi. Okay, Pranjal. Okay, Inla.
Ma'am, I wanted to ask one thing that
Yes.
underscore can be used in the beginning and also in the middle of identifier, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, fine. Most welcome. Okay, Sangeeta. Okay,
Shandevi, there
Akash.
is one announcement I need to make.
Yeah, sure, sir, sure.
Yeah. So guys, I hope you liked this session and looking forward to be with you for the next 4 days also. So we are maintaining our attendance record, and on the last day we'll be sharing a feedback form link, and the record which we are maintaining and your entries in that feedback form, those two combined will be judged, and your certificates will be then delivered to you. Also, guys, you have put a short criteria that it's mandatory to attend at least 4 classes to be eligible for certificates and other things. So I hope you don't have any query, uh, and if you have, then please do get it cleared by today itself, or if you want to revise something, do come tomorrow and ask before the session starts. So, Shambhavi, over to you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, so guys, this was all about today's session. If you have any doubts, you can just ask our doubts tomorrow also, and it's all from my side. And yeah, thank you so much for this wonderful session. And yeah, I'll be sharing that PDF with you all, right? I'm just forwarding that to Anshika, and she would share that to every one of you.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, attendance link for today's session.
Okay.
As
Yes,
for
Sanjay, that is we took your attendance, no issue with that.
Okay.
And
Fine.
just as Sahid said, you have to attend at least 4
4 lectures.
sessions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for this wonderful session. We'll meet tomorrow at the same timing. So see you all tomorrow.
Thank you,
Class
Shambhavi.
recording should be sent, ma'am.
Yeah, Karthi.
Class recordings will be shared, ma'am.
Okay.
No, there will be no class recordings. She will be sharing only that PDF video.
Yeah, okay.
I'll be
Sure.
sharing that. Don't
It
worry.
would be great if you could make a handwritten notes, with the ongoing class. And if any doubts you're having, then please do get it cleared before the next class starts. And other than that, you're also free to interact in a WhatsApp group. I hope you are all member of WhatsApp group we have shared with the form.
Yes.
Okay, so looking forward.
Shahid, do one thing, post that WhatsApp chat link also.
Okay. Just give me a